It's live action and it is Wrestlemania season. Now, we need to start this by pointing out that we are now recording a week ahead of ourselves. So we are technically 2 weeks before WrestleMania. So we don't know all the matches just yet, but we do have a fair idea of how the card is shaping up, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have a look through the confirmed matches and the most likely matches to happen along with it.
Okay.
And pick our favorite. Because, I mean, I love WrestleMania season.
What?
Ordinary. It's a weird feel this year. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. I want to be super excited. There's some stuff here that does make me excited. But it feels like it's missing something. It's like, you know how I was saying when I stopped watching WWE? That I had to stop because I realized that Vince McMahon's WWE was a child show and it just wasn't for me. And I was missing something when I was watching it. And it was the wrestling that I was missing. It was just getting a bit too childish for me.
Yeah.
The one thing McMahon did going into WrestleMania is there was a lot of celebrities around. There was a lot of big crazy matches that would pop up for WrestleMania that I used to look forward to. And it feels like that's not there this year. And it feels like some of the matches, if they were just, if the beef was turned up just a tiny bit more, we'd have a lot more going into this year.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're holding back a small bit. And I do have one or two little things that I don't like. But I mean, I'm going to get excited for it because it's my first WrestleMania watching properly in years.
Yeah. Well, it is.
I watched last year, but I didn't watch it live.
Yeah.
And no, this year I'm not watching it live either. But not the first night.
But the second night, you're going to keep it all.
Me and my tag team partner, Eli, have decided we're going to do it right this year like we used to do a few years ago. And we're going to do a proper WrestleMania Sunday, which includes a huge amount of barbecued chicken wings, some pizzas, chicken ribs, little tiny things. Well, chicken wings that much fucking bigger. Lots of pizza, Easter eggs, beer, whiskey, other substances. I don't know. And then we watch it. So what we're going to do this year, since they're doing it over 2 nights now, we're not going to watch Saturday night. And because the American times obviously mean that second night isn't going to start till like midnight over here, we're going to watch the first night
from
in the evening and watch that first and then go right into the second night.
How long are they doing it each night? 3 hours or 4 hours?
See, back in the McMahon era, both nights would have ran for about 6-7 hours. Yeah. But I've noticed that they've been cutting back over the year with the length of their pay-per-views. So instead of them being 4 or 5 hour fucking extravaganzas every month, they've been cut back to about a solid 3.5 hours. Okay. And I'm wondering with the 2 nights, will they try and do that again? Keep it compact, keep it small, keep it 5 or 6 matches on the card and move on, like, you know?
Maybe.
I don't know. How many matches do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 confirmed matches with another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible matches. So what would that work out as? What did I say there was confirmed?
5 and 8, 13. Did you say 5 and 8?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 matches. So that would be 7 matches a night, which wouldn't be too bad. No. You'd put one on either one of their pre-shows.
Pre-shows, yeah.
And then you crack on with maybe 1 or 2 on the pre-show and then 5 or 6 on the main card, which is all you really fucking need, especially over 2 nights. If you're going to do it over 2 nights, then don't try and make us sit there for fucking... Yeah. And that was the point of 2 nights, was that it wasn't a big long slog, because they were saying the fans, especially fans that were at the arena, by the time the main event was coming on,
they were losing interest.
They were wrecked. They're tired. Like, you know, they've been queuing up. They've been doing all the WrestleMania things all weekend. And now it's the last day of it.
Probably a bit tipsy last day.
Yeah, you've been going now 6 or 7 hours and suddenly the main event is on and you're like, oh, fuck. Do you know? I mean, we get that. Remember we went to see the Wu-Tang Clan and Nas. And Wu-Tang came out first and did like 2 or 3 songs. And the place exploded. And we went mental for 2 or 3 songs. Then they went in and Nas came out for 2 or 3 songs and the room was quiet. We got into it. We started to pick ourselves back up. But when he initially came out first,
all that energy.
We had just went fucking ape shit for fucking 3 songs and we were all fucking spent for a few minutes and it took a while to build back up that kind of intensity, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'd assume they do every second night or something for that pop. But so I imagine sitting there for 6 or 7 hours watching wrestling eventually. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it here at home.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching it, usually as the matches, we stop talking definitely as the last couple of matches come on. Whereas the early night might be full of conversation. By the time you get to like the second or third last match, the room is quiet and everyone's trying to keep their eyes open.
Oh, yeah.
And I know now we have the added disadvantage of time differences, but you know. So like I said, at this point, 6 matches have been confirmed. Yes. We know that Cody Rhodes will face
John Cena.
A heel John Cena. Gunther will face Jey Uso. Io Sky will presumably go up against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. But as of now, it's Io Sky versus Belair. I'm sure by the time this episode actually drops, Rhea will be in the match too. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. And Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. And then the ones that are predicted to happen but haven't been announced yet is Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dominic versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. LA Knight versus Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu versus Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. The War Raiders versus The New Day. Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly versus Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY versus Las Garza for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Cool.
In what will presumably be a mask versus mask match.
Yeah.
I suppose let's look at the predictions before the predicted matches coming before we go looking at the main ones that have been picked, because they're the ones I have the most to say about, I suppose.
Okay.
The matches that are already solidified.
Yeah.
Look, a mask versus mask match, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. You haven't really been watching Raw the last few weeks, so you don't know who El Grande Americano is.
I wasn't, but will it be a squash match?
No. It'll probably be a solid match between the two.
Oh, I'm just reading what they have here.
Do you remember when Chad Gable left to go and become a master luchador?
I have been watching it. I know who El Grande Americano is.
Yeah, not a coffee.
yeah. It's the guy that he tried to play it off.
Chad Gable,
He's the general of them.
Yeah, and he's still pretending to be sick, and El Grande is coming out and wrestling the matches now.
Yeah.
So Rey Mysterio is getting pissy about this, and eventually, obviously, it'll go mask on mask. Rey will win. Chad will be unmasked as El Grande Americano. We'll all get a laugh out of it. It'll be great. It's a fun pre-show match or a starting match, a kickoff match. You know,
exactly.
Then you have Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly versus Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY versus Las Garza. I find the SmackDown tag division boring. I find the teams boring. I used to like the Motor City Machine Guns and TNA. I just find them dull now.
Who are the Motor City Machine Guns again?
Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Oh, I don't like Chris Sabin. Oh, well, yeah, no, I've never liked Chris Sabin.
You first saw Chris Sabin as the TNA World Champion and you just were like, I don't like him. He doesn't look like a World Champion. And he didn't. He
does it, but he still doesn't look like a champion anything at the moment to be.
Well, they were tag team champions pretty much straight away once they got signed. They won those belts second weekend.
Yeah, but like when I see him even wrestling, it always just feels like, and not in a cool way that Jericho used to do it, but it just feels like I'm watching my uncle prance around on screen or something like that. No uncle in particular, mind you. It just feels like that they're putting on a little kind of fun.
Well, see, we have to be careful because these guys would be indie darlings, fucking the internet fucking.
That's fine, but I don't have to like them.
DIY are fun. I like Tommaso Ciampa. I'm not a huge fan of Gargano. I find him a bit dull as well, to be honest with you. But together they're not bad.
Okay.
Ciampa is fun, but I think Ciampa as a heel singles is better than this DIY thing he's doing. Street Profits I like, and I want to see them win. You like Pretty Deadly.
I do like Pretty Deadly.
And Las Garza, I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to them. Like I said, I don't pay a lot of attention to the tag team division in SmackDown because of who was champion up until recently. It just didn't interest me.
Who was champion up until recently?
Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, yeah.
They got them off of the Bloodline, I think, didn't they?
Yes.
Or the new Bloodline.
Yeah.
It was kind of setting up for the War Games and kind of having them drop the titles before they start falling apart, which they are currently doing. War Raiders versus The New Day. No, this is the thing about the New Day thing. This is what's confusing me. Right?
What's wrong?
The New Day's current gimmick is identical to John Cena's current gimmick. They're two very uniquely fucking babyface entities that have very recently turned heel when you never expected them to turn heel. John Cena can't be here every week. Why are we not using the New Day as his buffer, guys? Like. Why haven't they been put together and been like, New Day? We get what you're saying, Cena. We're in the same boat as you, Cena. We've been mistreated by the fans, looked down on by the fans for after everything we've given them. We got your back, and it would be a nice unit of like these three guys who are seen as the ultimate never going to turn heel baby faces being absolute pricks together.
Maybe Cena doesn't want to work with anybody.
Maybe. I just think it would be a nice way to elevate them as well and just to build a little story and to have someone there when Cena's not around to be doing his thing, Yeah. Because the War Raiders, while they're a cool team, again, I just find they lack in promo skill.
Oh, the War. Yeah, no, I'd think about them for a minute. They're the Viking guys.
Yeah. And I just think the gimmick lacks any real intrigue, or it doesn't really pull me in.
It has no direction, I think. Yeah, exactly.
It's one-dimensional.
It is, you see what you see is what you're,
And I can't really see it going out unless they can find someone to put them in a decent fucking back and forth program with someone that I am not 100% sure. They don't really do it for me, and the New Day will be better as tag team champions right now because of the heat they have on them and the kind of shit they'll bring with it. Yeah. But I think, why are you not putting them with John Cena? They're literally identical stories, identical gimmicks happening. The only difference between their story and Cena's story is at one time the fans loved the New Day. They never hated the New Day. They always loved the New Day until they turned on them, whereas Cena, he actually has an excuse for what he's doing. He's like, you've been shitting on me for fucking years. Fuck you. Yep. So I don't know, man. That's what I do. I'd put them together. LA Knight versus Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu versus Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. And I think this is solely put there to get the belt off of LA Knight and onto Jacob.
Okay.
Without Jacob having to beat LA Knight.
So
I think they want LA Knight to be a superstar. They have in their heads that he's like, well, see, you're making a face now. Vince McMahon would agree with you. He sees nothing in him. He actually left him go, or was about to let him go before he was fired.
Scream superstar to me.
And had given him a completely different gimmick. What was he? He was something Dupree. I can't remember. I wasn't really paying full attention. When Vince was in charge, I just stopped watching again.
It was Max Dupree.
But fucking... They see him as like the new Rock. Apparently they think he can talk to them. I think he's alright. I think he's fine. Again, I think the character's a bit one-dimensional and I don't really know where you
see him as the new Rock?
That's the talk. I mean, Jacob Fatu is the clear fucking superstar there. In this match.
Absolutely, yeah.
Carmelo Hayes is a huge superstar in the making.
Yeah.
He will... I do believe he will be in the main event holding titles in the future, but Jacob's a right now fucking superstar.
Exactly.
I mean, that was their biggest fear with bringing Jacob into the bloodline, was that he would outshine Solo. And then they brought him into the bloodline and he outshone Solo. And it kind of put a dampener on Solo's push to be the main eventer because you got Jacob standing there who is a ready-made main eventer. He can talk. He can act. He can do the whole fucking big scary guy thing and you believe it. And from what I have heard, you believe it because it's pretty legit.
Yep.
It's not too bad. Again, it's that old kind of thing of, to be a great wrestler, all you got to really do is take yourself and turn it up to another level, turn it up to 11 and be a louder version of who you actually are,
Yeah.
Or a more embellished version of what you are, because I like when I was wrestling, I wouldn't say that I'm as crazy as I acted. Little bit, but not as crazy.
No, you
we
weren't.
turned it up a little bit to a level where I could be that mental. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. This is the problem I don't like about Logan Paul. Another problem with Logan Paul. But he claimed when they did the whole Raw debut on Netflix that he was now a full-time WWE superstar.
But he's not.
Like swans in and out.
Waltzes in whenever he wants to.
That's it. And no, I think he did just have a baby, so I think that might be why
really?
he
Oh, well, you can't give him shit for paternity leave.
Yeah, because he was going on that he's a girl dad now.
So that's going to change him.
But do you think?
Oh, yeah.
So it's him versus AJ. To be fair to Logan Paul, right? I don't like him.
He puts in...
But he has worked hard to be... He's figured out how to be a very good wrestler very fast and put on entertaining matches.
That's because he says that he's watched it for so long, isn't it? That he's been a fan for so long that it kind of came as second nature kind of thing to him. Well, but he did put in the work. But
that's what I said.
Oh, sorry. Josh Paul.
I don't know if he said it as well, but
I think I heard him say it.
I did find that all right. That like I watched so much. Like you kind of think of it as like, you know, people say, well, you got to study it and stuff like that. I was like, well, I've been studying it since I was 4, and you know, I've been watching this thing consistently since I was a child.
Yeah,
I have seen every move. I've seen every storyline. I've seen every character. I know how they're doing this. I've watched. I've done enough. By the time we were backyard wrestling, we knew how to pull off enough moves to not hurt each other. You know?
Yeah.
And by the time I actually got into a real wrestling ring, it was nice because it boosted my confidence straight away that I walked in there. And whereas I was still extremely green and didn't know what I was doing, I knew enough of what I was doing to make me look a little bit more ahead of everybody else when it came to what I was picking stuff up. Some stuff in wrestling, it took me years to pick up. Like my footwork is terrible. Chain wrestling took me. What pisses me off about chain wrestling now is that now the whole idea of it is so simple in my fucking head. And it would just come so natural. You see me with the boys. I can't pass the boys without throwing them in a headlock, into a wrist lock, into a hammer lock, into a waist lock, back to a headlock, and then trying flipping them and flopping them all over the fucking place. And it's just, it comes so naturally, you know. It was like, fuck. Why was I not able to understand that day fucking one, you know? And even the idea of the whole putting a match together, like, it was explained to me so many times. It's like, right, you lock up, or, you know, you have the babyface shines, then the heel will come in with a cut off, and then he'll get the heat, and then the babyface will make a comeback, and then a cut off, and, you know, big finish. Yeah. And I just wasn't paying attention to what was being said to me. Because the matches were because when you do get to that, like, you're in the back, the match are told you step by step. By the time you get into the ring, you're just trying to remember what the next step is, you know? Yeah. But it does come naturally enough to you in the sense of you've seen these guys pull this off long enough, you kind of start to figure out where the tricks are. I assume, again, if you're a fucking Mad Magician fan, when you watch the magicians over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, remember, I was probably consuming close to 10 hours of wrestling weekly.
It's true.
For 20 odd years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe 17 or 18 years before I got into a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
You know, so you know this stuff.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I don't know if this match is going to happen.
Why?
I don't know if it's a WrestleMania match, truthfully. They're not pushing it hard enough. They're not making a big enough deal out of it. It's kind of a background match. If it's a match, it will 100% be a pre-show match.
Oh, you think?
100%. Okay. I can't see this making the main card. Unfortunately. You know I like Jade. Jade Cargill has a lot of detractors online who say she can't wrestle, who say she's a one-trick pony, and that's why AEW booted her and all this kind of shit.
AEW didn't boot her, did they?
No, they would have re-signed her in a second. They put a load of fucking time and effort into making her a monster. Like, you know, losing her was a terrible fucking thing for them in the sense of, I mean, I know most people are like, oh, well, they unloaded the shit. I was like, she was on a fucking roller. She was doing fine. She was doing what she was supposed to. I don't know what people are expecting from Jade. She can talk. She looks the fucking part. And when she gets in the ring, she gets the job done. I have no problem with what Jade does.
Is it
and
because...
that's not just because I'm attracted to her.
Jade wouldn't be... I mean, I would assume that for other girls, it's easier to be kind of like high flyers. But because of her size, like, you know, like the same way with Charlotte Flair, you're not as nimble.
For the girls because they can have a different type of match.
But that's what I'm saying.
You
like,
know? Is
that what people are looking at? That she's not doing like those things, but because it's of her build, like, you know, like, are they finding her a bit boring that way?
No, I think a lot of the heat is she is an AEW original. And it's that kind of tribalism again in wrestling. And all these WWE fans.
Sorry, but that is so fucking hypocritical because you're fucking golden boy fucked off It wasn't even. It's worse to fuck off and then come back. In my eyes, I like Cody.
Not really, because
but
he's
in
a
my eyes,
WWE original.
I know, but you still said fuck you WWE. I'm going over here to AEW
to get your attention, because you're not giving me attention. So now I'm going to get your attention in the strongest way possible. Make myself a star that you thought I wasn't. And then if I come back here and I'm not triumphant and I don't come back here and be huge, all those other stars that are still in AEW will be looking and say, same old WWE, I ain't going there. Because WWE used to take TNA guys who were at the top of their fucking game, bring them on over to WWE and relegate them right to the bottom of the fucking roster with a brand new name and make them work their way back.
That's fine. And would Jade have gotten noticed if she didn't go to AEW first, in the same vein that he's saying? Do you know, as in like...
I think she stands out enough that she probably would have. If she got into WWE first, probably. Even though I think she did have a tryout, and I don't know what the story was, but she ended up in AEW. But
I just think it's very hypocritical. I know I understand what you're saying about the thought with Cody Rhodes, but in my head, in my opinion, it's the same fucking thing. Like,
because I actually think it's one thing I've been thinking about on the other direction that I think AEW is making a huge mistake on, and that they're going to lose a lot of these. Like, a lot of people kind of again started giving them shit at the start, saying that, oh, you're only bringing in WWE guys now and they're going to get all the main spots and all your old AEW originals are going to get pushed back. Like WCW did, like TNA did, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just another recipe for disaster. And Tony has done the complete opposite. And nearly all the WWE guys have kind of been relegated to a spot where most of them have ended up leaving.
Okay.
And all his AEW guys are being elevated, because you got Hangman Adam Page, you got Daniel Garcia, you got fucking Darby Allin, all of them. You know, they're all making their way up the ladder. And the only ones who are kind of top of the bill are the older guys like Jericho, Edge, and Christian, because, well, they're not expecting to be multiple time world champions. They know they're there to help the next generation along. That's all they really want to do, and have a few good matches doing it. Obviously, there's the exception of John Moxley, but John was the first one to jump on board and help him out, like, you know, and he has, every time they've needed a world champion, he's stepped up and taken the ball and went with it. But I do think they're kind of making, it's the same mistake they made when they had all the older veterans in the back and none of the young guys were being encouraged to talk to them and listen to them and take their advice.
They weren't being...
No, they weren't. And all those old legends then said, fuck this, and left and went back to work for WB. Like Arn Anderson, like, you know, fucking all the rest of them. And then at the same time, I think you're having a similar problem now with the WB superstars that come over, because as of this week, Paige is done with AEW, gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What happened there?
No, nothing. She is the major professional and does not shit talk.
Perfect. Well, she's been brought up in the industry.
When she left WWE, it was, I love WWE. They've done everything for me. They've given me every opportunity in the world. I wouldn't be where I am without them, and I'd love to work for them again someday. Now I work for AEW. And then she left AEW. It was like, it's a great place to work. I love my time there. Tony's great, but I feel like I'm taking up a spot that another wrestler could fill. So I'm going to leave.
Oh, she'd make a good politician.
And she's like, I'm going to take some time for myself and then the next breath. But if WWE want to hire me for something, I'm available. So Miro could have been a fucking star and was kind of just pushed to the side. What was the other name that was on it? Andrade. You know, he kind of got... The Lucha Brothers did get a good run in WWE or AEW, but I don't know, because I know Tony talked at the start about this thing of rotating wrestlers. And I thought that was what was going on, but it feels like we see a lot of the same old homegrown guys over and over again. And like, even look at Adam Cole, who I think has deservedly been relegated to a lower fucking level, because I think, number one, he doesn't stay. Number two, he doesn't look like a fucking main event. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He can talk, but... And even that kind of illusion, they need to stop doing reality TV shows for wrestling. Yeah. I love The Undertaker all my life. Then he retires and does a documentary where he fucking acts as himself, and he's a prick. He's an absolute knobhead who fucking licks Trump's fucking asshole. Fuck him. And no, I don't like him anymore. And I can't even enjoy when it goes bang and he turns up on the screen anymore. It's just like, he's a dickhead, and I know he's a dickhead. And then Adam Cole did this fucking AEW document or reality series.
Car with Britt Baker,
and he seemed like a love-struck little wussy bitch following her around, holding her fucking her purse for her. He does not seem tough in the slightest.
Would you not hold my purse for me?
Yes, I would, but it's beside the point. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Adam Cole looks like... Do you know how there used to be this kind of idea that a wrestler could stand there? I've done it personally, where I have stood in a fucking wrestling ring. Someone in the audience has talked shit. I've walked over to the ropes, pulled up the top rope, sat in the bottom and the middle rope and said, get on in. Let's test your metal. See if you can fucking talk as much or walk the walk if you're talking the talk. And no one takes me up in the fucking offer. They shut their fucking mouth. I get back in the ring and I do what I have to do. I do what I have to do. I truly believe if Adam Cole did that to me, I could climb in the ring and fucking wipe the floor with him. I don't think he looks intimidating. I don't think he looks strong. He doesn't look athletic. He doesn't look any way, shape or form like I should be afraid or worried about fighting this man.
When I think of him, I don't know if he is, but when I picture him in my head, even though I've seen him on TV, I picture a small guy.
He is, and I mean that's not. I don't want to be body shaming, guys. I get that, but if you're a wrestler, this is kind of the aesthetic. It's my same problem with the fucking Young Bucks. I feel like I could slap both them around the place in one go.
But there's plenty of small wrestlers that are like.
I think it's a part of the package. You need to have a look that looks like you're intimidating.
If you're small, you got to be wide, but fit wide. And
I think if you're small, then you're not going to go to the fucking gym, then you need to go up against the other small guys.
Yeah.
I don't think it is realistic to put Adam Cole in the same ring as Adam Page. I don't think it's realistic to put Adam Cole in the same ring as John fucking Moxley. I don't think it's realistic to put the Young Bucks in the same fucking ring as Edge and Christian, will say off time, or they Acclaimed, or fucking any of it, because they look the part and they do not look like they will be able to beat up anybody.
No.
Do you know? Even if they did their high flying move off the top rope, I feel like they'd hit me and I'd be able to catch them. I don't feel like they'd knock me over.
What about Adrian Neville? Because he's small in my head as well.
But he's stacked.
He fucking works out.
He makes up for his height by being an animal. I mean, if you want to talk small, look at fucking John Silver. Is it John Silver, the guy from the Dark Order?
Yeah. But
that guy's 5 foot nothing.
I know, but still.
And I still believe he might beat my ass if I fucking got into a fight with him.
I think if he swung the right way, Josh, he'd knock you.
Height isn't all I'm talking about here. It's the actual working out part. And they do not, when you look at the Young Bucks' arms, because they make sure they fucking cover their top half. And all that's available is their arms. There isn't even muscle tone in their fucking arms. Do you know what I mean? That's the one thing I've noticed. They have flabby fucking arms. It's like you're not even working out your fucking arms, you lazy fucking shit. At least Adam Cole's going to the gym. At least you believe Adam Cole went to the gym a couple of times a week.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. I just feel like those guys are being... Like I said, Adam Cole has kind of been dropped down the fucking where he is because of the whole debacle with his injuries and with the whole MJF storyline being shit and really fucking showing him for what he was, you know, and it was just it wasn't really his fault, but it just kind of exposed him a little bit in my eyes. Yeah. I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about AEW for WrestleMania, but here we are.
We went on a rant. Oh, Jade, that's what got us onto it.
Yeah. Jade could, I think Jade is a superstar in the making. Yeah. I just think I think she'll win the fans over eventually. I think heel Jade is more fun than fucking babyface Jade.
Do you know what I think Jade isn't a bad casting for? We were just talking about it last week. Sorry to change the subject. We'll go back to WrestleMania afterwards. Storm.
Do you think Jade can act?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'd be surprised if we see this on the main card. I think this will be a pre-show match.
Okay.
Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dominic versus Finn Balor. Now we're kind of getting into the stuff that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because Penta, that's the other side of it. Penta in AEW looked cool. Looked impressive. Looked like he should have been a main event star as well, solo-wise.
But the production value wasn't.
But seeing him coming out at Raw, he looks like another fucking level.
He does. Yeah,
he looks like he is a massive superstar. He looks fucking like a superhero. He looks the part, and the production and the quality around him shows that up massively.
Oh yeah.
Ray Phoenix is going to show up. By the time we've dropped this, Ray Phoenix will be there as well. They announced it on Raw 2 weeks ago, last week. Today for me, for everyone else.
See, I'd be able to watch and keep up with you if you didn't watch while I was at work.
There's so much wrestling to watch in a week. I just have to leave it at. But it's just something I have on in the background while I'm writing the scripts for the other shows. You know, it's just something to kill time. It's nearly 3 hours long. You're not going to sit down in the evening and watch 3 hours of wrestling with me when there's other stuff to be watched.
That's true.
And recording to be done, and writing to be done, and editing to be done.
Well, if you weren't such a fucking slave driver.
Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. This is a guaranteed match to happen because, I mean, we all know this is why Drew is upset.
Yeah.
Drew is not happy that this is his WrestleMania match. He feels it's kind of CM Punk kind of syndrome of, it's beneath him.
I like Damian Priest.
I like Damian Priest too, but I suppose when you're looking at it here, it's kind of a case of who do you have win, who needs to win, who needs to come out on top.
I think for Priest's career, he probably needs to win, but it's a bit kick in the arse for McIntyre not to win.
Who has also been on a bit of a losing streak, notorious losing streak, because he's losing to Punk. He's been losing along the way, and he lost a feud with CM Punk. He started this fucking beef with the Bloodline that's gone nowhere and been kind of taken over by Damian Priest, which is a weird one. I think the match would be good, but I think Drew McIntyre is starting to bore me a little bit.
I have been saying that for weeks. Who was it? I think it was Priest. All right, that was saying to him basically like to shut up, like crying over Punk. He was sitting there. One of them was sitting there cross-legged, and it really did sound like a 20-something-year-old giving out to a teenager. Yeah,
I don't know. It's fine. Again, and this isn't going to be the first time I give out with this. I feel like they could be doing more to make this a bit more of a blood feud. It feels like a very ordinary match. I think I'd like to have seen Drew go after Damian with the same ferocity he went after CM Punk. Do you know? And try and make a fucking example out of Damian Priest. This is what you got for WrestleMania, so go with it. I don't know what he was looking for. I don't know. Was he hoping to get a match with Roman? But the beef was anyway that him and Damian Priest had a spot set up for the Royal Rumble that was going to kind of make this a bigger deal. And LA Knight missed his spot in the ring or stood in the wrong place.
Oh no.
Fucked up their spot, and Drew and Damian Priest went out of the ring, and Drew
was supposed to stay in the ring.
I don't know if he was supposed to stay in the ring, but it fucked up the spot and kind of fucked up the start of the feud. And apparently when McIntyre got backstage, he started fucking throwing stuff around and had a bit of a tantrum.
That's not how you fucking react over it.
Got his bag, hopped in his car and fucked off.
This is what we were saying last week's episode that we just recorded. When you asked me why there's more men serial killers than women serial killers, like I said, you can't control your fucking tempers. What is the point in going backstage and throwing stuff around to get your point across?
Frustration. And
do it at home.
Funny enough, CM Punk was the last person to have the very, very similar reaction to.
And where did it get him?
And it was his WrestleMania match as well that he got pissy about.
Yeah.
They wanted him to face Triple H. He didn't want to fight Triple H. They were like, it's a privilege to fight Triple H at WrestleMania. It was like the privilege is his.
I wouldn't like
I'm
that
the
being
star
said.
in this situation. Yeah. And he didn't want it. He wanted the main event spot in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which we'll be getting to in a minute. Because I have some thoughts about this fucking main event situation too. Anyway, next one, the one we know for sure has happened. We're on to the real confirmed matches here, right? We have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Both great wrestlers, going to be a good match, but that's it. It's just going to be
Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
It's just going to be a match. Yeah. It'll be an entertaining match. It'll be a fun match because it's Randy Orton and Kevin Owens and they know what the fuck they're doing. Exactly. No, the next part is where my problem comes in, right?
Which? With Punk, Rollins and...
No. Not the matches. The matches are solid, right?
Okay.
So you look at the matches. We have CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
It's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair. Banger. Yeah. Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Banger. Gunther versus Jey Uso could be a good one. Could be a banger as well if they really want it to be. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Perfect. Can't wait for that match.
So what's the problem?
No. The problem I have is traditionally the champions go on last. Okay? Now you got 4 world champions here.
Yeah.
In Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky, Gunther, and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes and John Cena are going to close out Sunday night.
But that's fine because Cody Rhodes is champion.
Yeah. I am of the belief that the way it should be done with 4 champions in 2 nights is that one of the men's world titles is the semi-main event, one of the women's world title main events one night, and the second night, or the first night, whatever, the women's second world title is semi-main event, and the men's
Does that
world
mean
title,
second last or what?
Yeah. And that should be the way it's laid out.
Yeah.
This year, Cody and John Cena get the top spot on Sunday. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins get the top spot on Saturday. So the other 3 championships will not be in the main event. Which, again, is contradictory to what the Royal Rumble winner is supposed to get, which is the main event spot at WrestleMania. So for me, no.
But it's also shitting on the women a tiny bit as well.
Bear with me when I say this, and I know you won't like, and I know women won't like this, but traditionally in wrestling, we're used to women not going on last. When they did it in WrestleMania, it was a big deal. I like to see it happen. I do believe they should get one of the 2 nights.
Exactly. When there's 2 nights at play, they should have one of the 2 nights.
For Jey Uso and Gunther, you are really shitting on that match from fucking the get-go. Because Jey Uso, we never expected to win the Royal Rumble. No one could have predicted he was going to win the Royal Rumble. The last person in that ring I thought was going to leave as the winner.
Yeah.
It is very likely, in my eyes, that he will beat Gunther.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
And take that belt. But again, and this is a problem they've had ever since the day they started with the 2 title shit. 2 titles obviously came into play because you have a brand split. Certain people are on Raw, certain people are on SmackDown. They should not mix. So you need 2 world champions, one for each brand. Traditionally, the WWE Championship, the one with the big W on it and all that shit, that has been seen as the top prize.
Yeah.
Because it's there the longest. It's the belt from 50 years ago. And the big gold belt that Gunther holds is the one that came over from WCW.
Yeah.
And has constantly been put in the second place spot, even though the both belts are supposed to be on the same level.
Okay. As we know from the Saudi Arabia doing though because the WCW belt.
Yeah, well, that's why he did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we've been promised. Vince is gone. All this changes. So shouldn't that level up into a level playing field here? Because to me, what you've said is Gunther isn't cutting it as world champion. Jey Uso isn't worthy of the main event spot, and the belt is second best at best to the WWE Championship.
What you said there as well, and I understand what you said about the women's, but you are saying that the women then, it's in the same vein. It's in the same vein.
I agree.
Exactly. You are.
I agree.
I understand that this is more. I understand what you're saying about that match.
But for Jey Uso, it's got to be a kind of fucking thing of, it's like what CM Punk was saying with his belt at the time. We're trusting you with the belt. We're just not trusting you with the spot.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the main event. Your main event, Jey Uso. Here's the main event belt. We're not putting you in the main event.
I thought that the pop he gets at the moment, that kind of, or is it just people like saying it?
The thing about it is, and I hate to say it,
it's one and done.
I think so. Yeah. I think this is like Kofi Kingston's win.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jey will get the belt. Jey will hold the belt for a month or 2.
And then it's good job,
someone
Jey
will take it, and that'll be back to the Usos with you.
I wouldn't mind them going back.
What I would see happening is probably at some stage Roman will need his bloodline. Whoever, they'll do what they did to him with the United States Championship. Whoever Roman is fighting that he needs his bloodline back for will screw Jey. Jey will have to come back to fight his battles, and he'll just stick around at that point. I don't think it'll go much further than this, which even does have me doubting in a little bit that he might even. I'm not even 100% sure if he'll win. I think he'll win.
I think he'll win.
I think he will. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
This again could have been a bigger match. Outside of the main event spot, this could have been a bigger match if they had went with what Gunther threatened to do at the start.
What was that?
Gunther threatened Jey and said, you got a choice. You pick me or you can pick Cody. Cody's your friend. You'll have a fight with him. It'll be great. You'll enjoy it. You'll all have fun. But if you come after me, I am going to make your life a living hell between now and WrestleMania.
And they should have Gunther making his life a living hell.
And it hasn't. It's been very 50-50 back and forth. Gunther gets the better of Jey one week. Jey gets the better of Gunther another week. It should have been Gunther beating Jey Uso like a dog every week.
Well,
like
I
Hangman
thought that's
was
kind of
doing.
what happens when you're the babyface coming up to a big
like
match.
Hangman was like Hangman and fucking Swerve. That's the level they should have been going for here.
That was good.
It should have been them absolutely. And if Jay was going to fucking try and get back at Gunther, it should have been something despicable that he did back. Do you know?
Yeah.
I wanted them to be fucking jumping each other, walking into the arena. Like Jay is being shown with the camera, walking into the arena, and Gunther comes up from behind him with a fucking steel bar and starts beating on him. Do you know? Like they can't keep these guys apart for weeks on end. Do you know? To the point where you need to put a stipulation on this match or something just to make it more interesting. I think that would have worked, but I feel like it's been a very cool kind of fucking build to it. Gunther doesn't seem too bothered about the fact that he's facing Jay. Jay seems to be losing confidence by the week that he can beat Gunther, which would say he's probably going to beat Gunther. But I don't know. I just feel like, again, this is what I'm talking about, the build this year. There doesn't feel like there's that fire that's usually behind this shit.
Yeah,
and I just feel like this match in particular could have done with a bit more of a blood feud going on here. Do you know? They tried it this week with him beating down Jimmy. We faced Gunther this week.
Oh, okay.
In a bid to prove to Jay that Gunther could be beat.
Okay.
And then at the end of the match, when it was over and Gunther had beat Jimmy, Jay came down to save Jimmy, and then Gunther zip-tied him to the ring ropes. Jay to the ring ropes. So that he could beat Jimmy up in front of him.
Oh, okay.
But still, Jimmy was able to get up and walk out of the arena of his own fucking volition afterwards. So it didn't really have the desired effect. I mean, he bloodied him up and stuff, but he should have been leaving on a stretcher with a very distraught fucking Jay following him.
We have seen them bring stretchers in for less.
Yeah. I just feel like that could have been that they could have really ramped this up by having Gunther be a bit more ruthless, a bit more vicious, a bit more fucking vindictive, and then just really went out of his way to torture Jay in every possible way he can think of, you know? But yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. Obviously not the main event. The main event goes to Seth, CM Punk and Roman Reigns, which, look, let's face it, is an awesome match, and CM Punk finally gets to live out his dream of main eventing. Now, I wonder, is this kind of like a side kind of thing of, I'm kind of living out my dream, but I don't see any world championship hanging here, so I'm not really the main eventer. I don't know.
In the main event.
There he is. He's closing out the show on Saturday night, and let's face it, this is the blood feud we're talking about. They should have been doing something similar with Jay and Gunther, but to the point that Gunther was beating the shit out of Jay up until it got to the point where they had to be held back by security and kept away from each other for as long as possible. This would be an awesome match. It's because there's 3 fucking superstars.
Oh, yeah.
It's self-explanatory. Obviously, we have the thing hanging over our head of
what is the favor?
What's the wise man's favor to Punk?
Heyman, he's going to be hanging around ringside, I would assume, for something to happen.
Punk is making a lot of hints that Heyman is kind of been helping him out a lot, and Heyman is being seen at Punk's side a lot. Like you see him, like when Punk was down in the cage match and Roman was outside beating up Rollins, Heyman was inside cradling Punk and trying to help him back up.
History.
When he told him he was in the main event, he was down on his knees and he fucking kissed them and he hugged them, and you could see it was a friend fucking thing. And even when Punk came out the week beforehand and Roman was in the ring, he was like, "Thanks, wise man, for getting him in the ring for me." And you know, it was just a little fucking nod where Heyman had that shocked look in his face, and Roman kind of looked sideways at him. And that's interesting. That's fun. I'm looking forward to that match. It'll be a good one. I can't call who'll win that one as well. I would say Punk, just to kind of have that feel-good ending. I don't know, but you can't have too many feel-good endings, which would make me suspicious of what's going to happen with Cody and John Cena. But we're not going to get there yet. We got Cena's 2 women's matches to look at. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. You're not a big fan of Tiffany, are you?
I prefer Tiffany to Charlotte.
Yeah?
Yeah. She's fine, like. Tiffany's not bad. The whole Tiffany time thing, it's not bad, but I do prefer her to Charlotte. I think Charlotte might win.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see.
How many championships is Charlotte on now?
Did you not say that she's nearly at some record?
Has she beaten Flair, or is she about to beat Flair?
You know what to type straight away to bring that up. So
I don't, because I don't know how to spell Charlotte.
CHARLOTTE.
CHARLOTTE. LOTTE. I'm terrible at spelling Charlotte. So Charlotte has won. Where are we going? Accomplishments. She is 6-time women's champion, Raw women's champion, 7-time SmackDown women's champion. So that's 13. Divas champion at 14. NXT champion twice, 15, 16. So she is a 16-time champ and Cena is a 16-time champ. So there's a possibility of both of them breaking the record at this pay-per-view.
Okay.
So
she's beaten Flair's. She's beaten...
No.
Oh.
Rick is at 16. She's at 16 and John is at 16. They're all 16-time champions.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
So the next one to win a belt has the record. Flair's in training, but I don't think he's going to make it.
Sorry, what?
Rick's in training, but I don't think he's going to make it.
He's 17.
No, I doubt it. He's going to try, but I doubt it.
How are they going to make that look believable? And you're just giving out about the Young Bucks.
So yeah, I mean, I suppose. I've never been a huge fan of Charlotte either, to be honest with you.
No.
She's a good wrestler in the ring. She's a good heel. That's why I don't really like her. She's a good heel. I love to hate her. And I think that's kind of why she's good at what she does.
I like her wardrobe choices at the moment.
She is a star. She's one of the best women wrestlers in ring. Like she's very good at what she does. Mm-hmm. I just like her as a heel. I'd never be able to get on with her as a babyface.
I thought you meant in real life. I should just. Yeah.
I don't know what she's like in real life.
But if she was like what she is on TV, probably not.
Io Sky versus Bianca versus Rhea Ripley. Like we said, at this point at recording, we don't know is this the official match, but it is the official match. I know it's the official match. Well, this week,
the Io
this
match,
week,
is it?
Io had to face Rhea in her rematch to see if Rhea could beat Io to become the world champion to go on and face Bianca in the main event of WrestleMania. Bianca was special referee. Mm-hmm. Rhea accidentally kicked Bianca, and then Io accidentally kicked Bianca, and Bianca threw the match out.
Bad night for Bianca.
Meaning Io is still the champion going forward, but it leaves a bit of room for, I didn't lose the match, for Rhea to stop bitching morning, and it'll be made a triple threat by next week. By the time this drops, it'll be a triple threat.
Yes.
I like both Io and Rhea, but I reckon Rhea will take her belt back. I think her losing it was just so that she could have this storyline to win it back.
Okay.
I don't see anything special happening there outside that. It'll be a
fun match.
It'll be an awesome match. Absolutely. Because they're all great at what they do. Mm-hmm. But it's Gunther and Jay we talk about. So the big one, the one that's got everybody talking, Cody Rhodes against Dad Cena. Because he has really turned into an angry dad.
Military dad, yeah.
But that's all it is. He's giving out us and it's perfect. It's the perfect heel turn for him. It's what you wanted. He's treating us like we were the spoiled children who got what we fucking wanted and then we're never happy. So he's going to fucking teach us a lesson.
It is perfect.
And he's doing a really good job at it and I'm enjoying it. I never thought I'd see it. Most of all, I didn't think I'd see it in the last year he was going to be in the business.
But I suppose you tried everything in the business, so why don't you not go out?
Go out and something new, something that we weren't expecting. Him snuggling up to The Rock is a great kind of full circle moment from when he was facing The Rock at WrestleMania, you know? So it's fun. I'm looking forward to it. You don't know about the other side of what Cena's been saying, do you? Cena claims that he is going to win the belt and retire with the belt. So there could be no more WWE champions. So no more proper. He says he knows that they'll put a new belt there. He knows they'll call him the next champion. But he said everybody will know for a fact that truthfully, the real world champion left with the belt and the legacy of that belt left with him.
Nah, they're not going to happen.
So, it would make for an interesting end to his story, wouldn't it? If Cena beats Cody somehow... Maybe The Rock helps him out, gets him that win.
But he's not retiring at WrestleMania, is he?
No, he's not.
Exactly.
He's got to hold on to that belt until the end of the year to retire with it. So obviously then the rest of the year is going to be people chasing Cena to get the belt.
So Cena's going to win.
Specifically Cody.
Yeah.
And the rumor has it that in December they have a pay-per-view name trademarked called The End Is Now. Or something along those lines. Go with Cena's retirement, and it'll be like Sting's retirement show at the AEW. that it'll be a retirement pay-per-view specifically to tribute to John Cena. And I would assume that the story would probably run that long with Cody chasing Cena to get it back and then winning his belt back off the Cena in the retirement match. And Cena does the right thing and goes out and he's back like a wrestler's supposed to. That is my prediction. I reckon Cena takes the belt.
Okay.
I reckon
it would
that's
make
why
sense. It's
why you need Jey Uso to win. It's why you need CM Punk to win. It's why you need Rhea Ripley to win. You need a lot of happy endings to counteract what is going to be a very unhappy ending. With Cody sitting in the ring looking distraught and John Cena walking off with the belt. I think for the year going forward, it's the best.
It is, because what are you going to do with him going forward for the next few months?
I'll tell
like, just
you
have him dick around, like?
Yeah, but this is what will happen alternatively. If Vince was in charge and Vince was dealing with this storyline, what would happen alternatively is Cena would lose this match, see the error of his ways, and then go back to good Cena to finish off his little fucking tour, his farewell tour. I don't think that's the right move. I think you need to keep Cena on this lane, holding the belt, and have Cody almost prove to Cena that he is determined to come back and get his belt, and prove to Cena that he is the champion that everyone believes him to be, and that Cena can turn around at the end and say, you know what, I've done this all year to make sure that I have the right guy here to take my place. I've worked you hard, I've worked you fucking good, and I am confident, hanging up my boots, that you are the right man to take my place. And then hand him the belt at the end of the match. Happy ending for everyone. Cena goes off into the sunset. Cody goes on as the baby, the face of WWE, and you got a good year of a storyline out of it.
Do you think Cena would have liked to go heel beforehand, but Vince didn't want it?
I don't know. I truly, that's...
I'd love to know, is it a thing of like, do you know, like, it's something that I've always wanted to do, or is it a thing of, I haven't done this yet, I'm about to retire?
I don't know. That's truthfully, I don't know. Because if you ask Cena, he'll always give you the political answer of, I've been hired to do a job. Whatever I'm told to do, I go out and do it. And that's why I've been so successful, because they tell me to do it and I just say yes and go out and do it. Yeah. So since he was never asked to be a heel, it's probably something that he'll claim that he never really put much thought into. Yeah. But I think as a wrestler, you're always thinking about that.
Yeah.
Heel is more fun. And if you're spending your entire career being booed out of a building, I mean,
living in his house, I wouldn't fucking mind.
If you look at what a babyface and heel is, then technically John Cena has been a heel his whole career.
Oh, well, yeah, because the audience hate him. They love to hate him.
Because he's been booed out of the building. He's refused to change to suit our fucking needs. So he has technically been a heel his entire career and just turned babyface for the last minute.
Yeah.
Cody pointed that out himself when he was in AEW, and the fans started to boo him at AEW and chatting at him to turn heel, and he's like,
"You've made me.
You're fucking booing me. I already am a heel." You know, you just don't understand the difference.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the big point here is John Cena has actually turned babyface for the first time. And everybody loves it. Because you know what really dawned on me today? Back in his heyday, when the "Let's Go Cena sucks" chant started, you could hear a clear divide over the people saying "Let's go Cena" and "Cena sucks."
Yeah.
Today that chant kicked off on Raw.
And everybody was chanting the same thing.
Everybody was saying both parts. It wasn't a two-part chant by two competing fucking sides of fandom. Everybody was saying the fucking line.
Is that because they were in England,
just
though?
a part of the... No, this is happening everywhere now. It's just a part of the gimmick now.
Okay.
They want to be able to do that. And they want to be fucking... They love to hate him.
Yeah.
And he's just made that easier for him. So, I mean, look, I think obviously that's the most compelling match on the card.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Because there is room to move forward with it.
Yeah.
There is room to see where this goes as we progress. There's a few matches we mentioned there that are one and dones. There's a few matches there that might lead to a match at Backlash and maybe one more after that. But this one has legs. This one could be the start of something that goes on for the rest of John Cena's career, which ends in December 2025.
It sounded like you were giving him a good few years.
But you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I get
this
that.
could be this epic ending. This could, instead of people looking at this like the end of a story, this is the start of a new fucking chapter that's going to take us for the entire fucking rest of this year.
Yeah.
And I could see Cody get life thrown into him because he's chasing the belt.
Yeah.
And could see life in Cena because he's trying his hardest to keep it away from him and hold on to it until he gets to the end himself. And then that proper redeeming moment at the end when it was all just a test to get you to be the best you could fucking be. I had to turn these fans against me. I had to turn you against me. I had to make you fucking want to hate me so that you could be your best. Because that's what I made a career out of doing. I made a career out of chasing all the guys who thought they were better than me, all the assholes in the thing who were the worst possible human beings who do anything to win the belt and hold on to the belt, and I needed to show you that that's what was ahead of you and that's what you were chasing. And then he gets to go out on top. Cody gets to leave him on top, and everybody's in a better place than where they were when this started, which should be the end goal of every wrestling fucking program, that everybody involved in the storyline are in a better place than where they started. Well, that's pretty much it. That's the card as it stands right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Predictions. I'm going to do that really quick because we don't have to take too long. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Rey Mysterio. The Street Profits Pretty Deadly, MCMG, DIY, and Las Garza. I reckon the Street Profits hold on to their belts there. War Raiders versus New Day. I reckon the New Day have it. The 4-way for the United States, that's going to Jacob Fatu without a fucking doubt. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Has to be Styles.
Has to be Styles.
Has to be.
But you're trying to build Logan.
Are you? No, yeah. I understand what you're saying, but I do feel like it's going to be Styles because, as in, did we not see Logan Paul win something that we weren't expecting him to?
But see, then you got to remember as well, there's the other side of it. Karrion Kross is kind of pissing about here in the background, playing in AJ's head as well. Will he get involved? Will he help,
throw the match
help Logan? Does he have something? Is he in line with Logan? Yeah. You know, that's where these matches where you can't really tell, where it seems a bit more fucking kind of up in the air. You can be guaranteed there could be outside circumstances that could see guys like AJ Styles fall to Logan Paul because it's not really his fault.
Yeah.
Jade versus Naomi.
Probably Naomi.
I'd like to think Jade would come in and steamroll through her, but Naomi, they just have to turn her heel as well. So I'm going to call Jade just because I like Jade, but I don't think... I think
Naomi, even though it probably would be better for Jade.
Braun Breaker, Penta, Dominic and Finn. I think Dominic and Finn will be their own worst enemies here, fighting kind of maybe getting in each other's way, causing a little bit of a fallout, so maybe see the end of the Judgment Day through this. Yeah, maybe to get the belt off of Breaker and send him up the card a little bit and to give Penta a little bit of a boost. But then you have Rey Fenix coming at the same time. Will they want them to jump onto tag team action? Braun Breaker is still kind of being built up, and a long reign with a title like the Intercontinental Championship can do wonders for a guy's career. So I'm going to think I think Breaker's going to hold the belt in that one.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest.
We've already talked about that one. I would say Priest.
I would say Priest too, but I think this is another one of those ones that could have outside influence that could change it. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton.
Don't know. Do not know. No idea.
I'm going to say Owens.
It's because you like Owens and he looks like a little teddy bear.
I like Orton too. You like Owens because he looks like a fucking teddy bear.
He has really nice, kind eyes, that man. There's just something about him that makes him seem like the loveliest man. It's something about his face.
I don't know. I reckon Kevin will win that, but again, I don't think it really matters who wins that match. Punk, Rollins, Reigns. I reckon Punk wins with a bit of betrayal from Heyman towards Reigns.
Well, yeah, Heyman is going to get stuck in there.
That is my thought process. I think this favor is going to be bigger than we think, and it'll see CM Punk win his first main event at WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. See, again, we've talked. Charlotte Flair and John Cena this weekend are both going for number 17. They're both looking to break the record this weekend or next weekend. I would think that they might do it in the same night.
I
would
think that they might let
want
Cena
Charlotte
do it,
just to do it before Cena.
I think, I don't know. You see, because Charlotte has time left in the company, I think they let Cena do it. He'll get the belt, and Charlotte still has time with his.
I think the idea of having a Flair beat the record. What are you doing?
I needed to get the spider. He's gone. He's safe. I just knocked him down the wall.
Anyway, I think they'd prefer to see Charlotte Flair.
I'm listening to you.
She's just sitting here playing with her fucking shoe.
I'm not. I'm taking it off.
I think they'd prefer to see Charlotte Flair beat Rick's record first, to be the person who first beat it, and then have Cena match it later that night or the next night. I think that will be my thought process. I agree. Ripley will win her belt back.
Okay.
Jay and Gunther, I really don't know. I really don't.
It makes sense.
I think Jey Uso to maybe soften the blow for what I think comes next. But
why have Jimmy lose when he's trying to show him that Gunther is beatable,
and then have him lose too?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I do believe there'll be a couple of happy endings here, because I truly believe John Cena will beat Cody Rhodes, and that'll be the storyline then for the rest of John Cena's farewell tour. He'll have that belt with the goal of leaving in December and taking it with him, and Cody will have to chase him for the entire year. I think it'll be a case of Cody will get a rematch at Backlash. Something will go wrong there that Cody won't win, and then Cody will have to start from the bottom and work his way back up to the world title position. And then that'll be it. That'll be the storyline from here until December. And in December, he will beat John Cena for the world title. And this will all turn out to being John Cena pushing Cody to his limits to make sure that the right guy was in the main event spot before he left.
Okay. Yeah.
He's turning the fans against him, because this is what these are the kind of people John Cena has come up against in the last 20 years. And he needs Cody to see the reality of the evil that he will have to face to hold the world championship. And that's why he's doing this. People will tell me that this is too childish and too fantasy fucking movie style thing, but this is truly what I believe the finish is. I believe in December, John Cena will say that he was doing this to push Cody to be the best he could possibly be and to fight the evil that is going to come up against him going forward as a champion, and for Cena to feel comfortable leaving the company knowing that he leaves it in good hands with a man that he has pushed to his limits and has proven himself.
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll find out next week.
We sure will.
And I can't wait, because I've ordered a brand new TV, 65 inches, brand new surround sound. It's going to be everywhere. We're going to hear the punches from behind us, from beside us. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to get a Netflix subscription.
Are we? Hope it holds fine for you.
Well, for 1 month we give them money, because I want to watch this shit in 4K.
Nice.
See the sweat dripping off. When it sweat hits the screen, you're going to be dodged.
No, I'll be fucking gagging.
Oh, man. But you know what? We'll have to come back on and see if I was right about my predictions and talk about that. Maybe on the Horrorverse headlines the week after.
We'll save your predictions. Write them down in an envelope and put them under my pillow. No,
but if you do want more wrestling, you can come out right on back here to Patreon on Tuesday, and we're going to have the newest episode of Wrestling with Time. Technically season 2, even though I'm not calling it season 2.
You keep saying this. You keep saying that's the end of season 1, even though I'm not calling it seasons.
And we will be talking about the great Lou Thez.
Oh, see, I knew who you were going to say. I'm starting to get good at that.
That's going to be fun. Come back here on Tuesday to check that out. And you can check out everything else we have on offer here right now with 2 seasons of Amy's Playing with Bones, which are absolute. This second season was fucking great. I enjoyed the first season.
Did you enjoy it?
I had good fun with the second season.
Because you fought me on Grannywell.
Huh? Well, no, I just think there was better discussions going on because I knew a bit more about the people we were talking about.
Okay.
You know? And I think
I get you. Yeah,
the discussion.
Yeah. The Mary Shelley episode was fun.
As opposed to the French one where I was going, really? Is that what happened? That's crazy. Tell me more. This time it was like, hang on 1 minute. I heard this. I read this. There was a bit more back and forth discussion. So I think that's fun. But you can check that out for yourself right now where you're at on Patreon, because this is on Patreon and it's a Patreon. So you paid for it already. You might as well go listen to it. Anyway, we'll see you next week when we come back and we get controversial. Properly controversial next week.
Oh, we do.
We're going to talk religion next week. So buckle up, kids. It's going to be a fun ride. See you all next time. Same Alive time, same Horrorverse channel. Okay, love you. Bye.